I'm muted. That's a great start. Hello, welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to another match reaction. And this is your Crystal Palace 1, West Ham United 2 match reaction. Why have I got the glasses on? I don't know, really. I thought. I don't know why I said Crystal Palace 1, West Ham United 2. I'm very tired. Um, I've not. I'm running on pretty much 0 hours of sleep. Um, so forgive me for any mistakes, but I'm here just to rattle Palace fans, really. Um, Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into everything in a minute, but big up to Josiah and the Villa fan already. I'm gonna come to your comments in a minute. Make sure to like the video, people, and make sure to subscribe if you are new. And thank you for the support as of recently. I'm gonna try my best. If I do make any casual mistakes, please correct me because, as I said, I'm running on no sleep, legit no sleep. So, um, yeah, we're gonna get straight into it, and I'm gonna get straight into my thoughts. The plan wasn't to do a match reaction today. The reason why the plan wasn't to do a match reaction was because I was meant to be on a trip away, um, but I couldn't sleep where I was staying around, so I came back home today, and I've had a long day. Uh, and I used my last bit of energy on Strasbourg Steve's watch along. I was on Strasbourg Steve's watch along for the West Ham game. If you guys check that out, so you want to see my goal reactions there. But yeah, let's get straight into everything straight away. Follow at GVO Mikes on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Yeah, we've already got some comments. Big up to Josiah. Not a vintage performance, but we won. Yeah, first half especially wasn't great. I'll get into all the details in a minute, but second half I was happy with. I thought it was much better even before the goals anyway. I'm pretty sure you can check that out on my thoughts on that on the watch along. I was pretty much thinking, yeah, we've been better than them, but I didn't think we were going to score. I'll be honest. I didn't. In the back of my head, I was like, this could go to be a 0-0 draw because I couldn't see them really getting past us, and I just couldn't see us finishing. Um, but I'm gonna say what clicked soon, mate. Big up to the Villa fan. I bet you were fuming from that lineup, lol. I was. I was. Go on to Strasbourg Steve's YouTube channel. Strasbourg Steve. I'm on Crystal Palace West Ham United watch along. But yeah, I was fuming from that lineup. I was. I even tweeted like, "Are you taking a piss?" Pretty much. The reason why I tweeted, "Are you taking a piss?" is because um, what's an L, bro? um, reason why I was taking a piss. I mean, the reason why I thought the lineup was pretty much a taking a piss was because I didn't watch Sufal, Suchek, and Antonio all start uh, like against Aston Villa and put in that sort of performance just for them to start this game again. I didn't understand that for me, but I was like, "Fuck it, cool. We're not going to win anyway." I did, as people would have seen on the match preview. I didn't think we were going to win anyway. I didn't think we were going to win anyway, but they surprised me today. And don't get me wrong, I think we saw some shades of improvement from certain people, and I think we saw some of the same habits from other people as well. I think you saw kind of a balance of two things in terms of the two halves involved. I think the first half was very frustrating indeed. Obviously, yeah, Kilman was the star. I'd say Kilman was probably my man of the match, as I said on the watch along. Jonathan, fuck's sake. Oh man, we're gonna get into Suchek in a minute. Credit to him, he got his goal. I will call him by his name for now, but it doesn't change my overall opinion on him. But I've said before how he would make a better impact sub, as he does always have impact at the end of games rather than in the middle of games, which was my big frustration last season. My problem is now is that goal is pretty much giving him another 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks of being in the starting lineup again. I do think that against Manchester City, I know we've got Bournemouth for midweek, but do think against Manchester City, if Alvarez is fit, you play Alvarez and Rodriguez, and you play. Well, you definitely play Wan. If Wan-Bissaka doesn't start now, I wouldn't understand it. Why did I not live stream the game today? I mean, I don't do watch alongs. Um, I was just asked to go on someone else's, and I couldn't do a watch along because I was watching the game downstairs and I didn't have my setup. And usually, if I was to do a watch along, I'd be able to watch it through my computer. I couldn't watch the game through my computer today. Um, I don't really do watch alongs for West Ham. That was kind of just a one off, just appearing on someone else's. I didn't even know my setup. I just joined StreamYard through my phone. So I don't do watch alongs, bro. But I did it for the preseason games because I could watch it in my Mac and all of that. It's kind of hard to explain without going into detail. Um, I thought you wouldn't pick points until October. Um, yeah, I mean, we discussed this earlier on Twitter, bro. Like when I saw that lineup, I was just like, nah, this ain't it. And I thought we were gonna lose this game, and obviously we are gonna. Still think we're gonna lose against Manchester City anyway, because that's what Manchester City are, like just on top form all the time. Most of the time, we haven't beaten Manchester City in 10 years. We got one draw against them, and that was a 2-2, a game we should have won. But they were on top form at the time anyway. But I still don't think we're going to win that. I hope we win the Carabao Cup game because I want us to go quite forward within the cups. What I want us to do with the cups is just completely go for it when it comes to Carabao Cup and FA Cup, because it's a big opportunity for us to see where we could go. And obviously, we're not in Europe as well. We're not in Europe, so my thing is with that as well. Like that gives us less of an excuse, because last season, we didn't try for the cups because we're in Europe. That was the excuse for the past 3 years. We're in cups now, so what's the excuse this time? That's my whole thing on it. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, yeah. We'll get on to Aaron Wan-Bissaka later. I'll come back to that. Big up to the Villa fan again. I've got to be honest, and if you disagree, I respect that, but I still don't think Lopetegui is it. Thought West Ham and Palace were boring at times, no excitement. I think from a neutral aspect, I think people would have built this game up in their heads a lot more because of the transfer activity and what Glasner's building and what West Ham are doing in the transfer window. I can see why you think Lopetegui isn't it. I've had a few people say that before. I had the Villa game gave me a lot of doubts, and I don't want to base it off one game, but the Villa game did give me a lot of doubts, I have to say. But that is just one game, and I'm hoping that the building blocks of the back end of this game is the start of something. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't think the football, like there's only a couple games in. I don't think the football, if we're talking just from an aspect of the way it looks, I don't think the football is great. I don't think the football is that pleasing to watch. And I get you have to go direct at times, but only Max Kilman can really do a good direct ball from the defensive line aspect. I still think the same things that I've been saying for a while are still true. The distances between Jared Bowen and number 5 are still wide apart. Or they're still heavily wide apart. But that's because I've said this a million times, and I feel like I've been talking about the same thing for the past 2-3 years. Is that Bowen always wants the ball in behind, and he knows that the number 5 is going to always put the ball over the top and in behind all the time. That's pretty much it. And that's become a problem because that just makes everything a bit too predictable, in my opinion. But that's the problem with the relationship between them two, because when you saw Aaron Wan-Bissaka come on, you can see the switch up. You can see the change in between the right back and the right winger. And Wan-Bissaka helped that. Like, wasn't even necessarily like, he's not even necessarily the most comfortable in possession, and we've gone through that before, but it's the fact of he will give you something different and he's not going to rush play. If this was under Moyes, I think they would have got under the fact of, okay, we're used to just sending the ball long now, and they would have, and all the new players that would have come in would have been used to the habits that the old players were in. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, my bad, bro. No problem, bro. Wan-Bissaka was good. Yeah, again, I thought he was good, bro. I thought, especially obviously we know defensively, like Mitchell he made it look like Mitchell wasn't trying. I still had doubts today. Palace dominated you in the first half. They were lucky to score in the first half. Yeah, I wouldn't say total domination or anything, but I would say like throughout aspects of the game, I think they were finding it too easy to get to our box. At times, we were lucky that we weren't lucky, but our centre backs were so on form that it was just like they helped that a lot. But there was a couple of times where they should have scored. Don't get me wrong. Even in the second half, they should have scored at times. But for the most part, I think we defended really well. Don't get me wrong. I still have doubts. I still have doubts, bro. I still have huge doubts because of the certain personnel aspects. But I guess we should talk about the players in more detail in a minute, and I will. I will get to that. I don't know whether I'm going to be doing another. I don't know whether I'm going to be doing this stream like close to 2 hours because I am really tired. But I will try my best. I will try my best. I didn't see it, but I heard Aaron Wan-Bissaka bodied someone to start the goal. Yeah, he bodied Kamada. They put Kamada in a deeper position. When Aaron Wan-Bissaka got the ball, he pretty much ran with it. I don't think I can show it on stream because I would get copyright claimed. But if you go and watch the highlights, and hopefully they show the whole clip, because only Twitter have been just showing when Aaron Wan-Bissaka had the ball. When he didn't have the ball, he defended really well, and then he bodied someone, got past the player, recycled the ball well, waited for Bowen to go in, and gave him the pass. And then all from that, it led to Thomas Souček's goal. But let's get into detail. Like, I've really got much to say about the goalkeeper, Areola. Apart from one save with his foot, there wasn't really much that he could have done wrong or good necessarily. Just did his job, really, collecting the ball, doing the basic stuff. When it comes to the back four, let's discuss the back four. I think the only one that let us down is number 5 today. I still think there were gaps in between Mavropanos and number 5 where I've said this for the past couple of weeks. Them two can't play together because them two just leave gaps with each other. But however, it wasn't Mavropanos' fault today. It was number 5's fault. He was just letting, I think it was Eze at times get into the gaps and Mateta get into the gaps at times as well. I think, speaking about Eze, we kept him quiet today, and that was all down to mainly Guido Rodriguez, who was following him about. Eze didn't have a great game at all. And they were heavily relying on him to create something, don't get me wrong, but Rodriguez did a very good job of keeping him quiet. He's quite a strong player. I would have taken him to Villa. Yeah, he actually would have done quite well at Villa as well. I think he would have done a good job there as well. So he's going to do a good job for us. I just hope that we actually, get him used to our style of play and stuff. When I say our style of play, I think we need to get used to him because he's actually changing up people. Big up to my guy, Jojo. Get the likes up, people. Big up to Jojo, as always. The ball boy. Yeah, that poor ball boy, bro. That poor ball boy got crushed when the West Ham limbs went off. Big up to Souček and Bowen for helping him out. And I'm not. And the thing, do you know what the funny thing is? You could give a man credit for, like, helping that ball boy out. Yeah. But that doesn't mean he should stay in the starting 11 on a regular basis. I know that some people are going to use that because some people like using like Souček as a nice guy thing to get him into the side. And what's it called? To put him in the starting 11 and stuff because they like off the pitch reasons for on the pitch stuff. Saw your community tab earlier. Your trip got cut short. I don't really know how to explain it without explaining it into detail. Basically, where I was staying on the trip, I couldn't sleep. I'm running on 0 hours of sleep. So I was meant to come back to Chadwell Heath on Monday. And around the Redbridge area on Monday. But I am here on Saturday instead. So yeah, I'm here because I couldn't do another 2 nights of not being able to sleep because I think my body would have shut. But basically, when I woke up today, my body was. Well, I say woke up. When I got out of my bed, I was shaking pretty much. And then I haven't had the greatest of days. I'll be real with you. My headphones are broken because of the rain, so I'm buying a new pair of headphones, which isn't great. But yeah, my part of the trip got cut short. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. I'm still doing a stream because I would have been able to do a stream if I was still on the trip. I would have just done a short pre-recorded video. I did end up watching the game. I wasn't meant to watch the game today either. I wasn't meant to watch any football today. But I mean, I did stuff like this happens in life, unfortunately. I spoke to a Chelsea fan and he said that Edson Alvarez isn't great. He doesn't know anything about football then. Suchek turned into prime Superman to save a helpless child's life after scoring. Helpless, yeah. That's the. Do you know what's the bad thing? Like the thing about that as well. Like if they didn't help him, it would have got really bad for that ball boy because the fans kept um, piling on to that thing, and obviously they didn't know the child was there, but as in they just kept piling on. That could have been really bad. So, well done to Suchek and Bowen for because Bowen did pull him out. It wasn't just Suchek. Fair enough, man. Do what you got to do. Yeah, yeah, it's life, man. It's life. But we're here now. We're here now. But I think someone that not getting enough credit for today's performance is Emerson Palmieri. I think Emerson had a good, quiet game, good in possession, did his job, and back and forth defense and attack really did his job well. Um, I think I really enjoyed him in possession today. I think a lot of people were probably overshadowing him, but I think if there's anyone that's going to benefit of a better style of football where the left back gets a bit more freedom, it's going to be him. And maybe we were talking about Wan-Bissaka tucking in a bit and Emerson bombing forward, but maybe Wan-Bissaka could also get some freedom as well. And as much as you kind of said, Jonathan, like, and we don't really like Kudus on the left, but Emerson and Pakistan do help that a lot. Did you see what Pakistan did when the ball fell? Yeah, he fell onto the fans. Yeah, he fell onto the fans. I rate it. Yeah, the guy's a madman. The guy's a madman. And I'm going to get onto a certain tweet soon. Emerson and Kudus were linking up very well. They were like both technically gifted players, and they kind of know each other on the pitch most of the time. Anyway, good creating opportunities. It's still a good left hand side. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not. Me and Steve were discussing it in a stream. Like you get the more out of Kudus when you're playing him in the middle. Bowen has to start on the right. Bowen has to start. And when I was having this debate about Bowen playing up front and Bowen playing on the right and stuff, like those kind of goals where Jared Bowen's scoring today is where he's going to be get off the right. And let's get on to Bowen quickly because you know when a player goes through a goal for West Ham United, I don't get up. I don't get up out of my seats. I usually know what's going to happen. Just in my general experience of supporting this club. But when Jared Bowen is in those positions, I know that the ball is going to go in most of the time. Most of the time when that happens, I kind of know it's going to go in. So when that happened, I was like, yeah, this is going to go in. This is Jared Bowen. And it did go in. And he's off on a score sheet in game week 2. And I'm happy. I'm happy with that. And like, if we play to some of our abilities this season and to some form of potential, then he should be aiming for 20 Premier League goals. Big up to John. How are you doing, Max? I'm stoked to the game today. Was up early to watch. The Pakistan dead ball play was big brain. It was. The referee didn't clock it. And that's what I was going to get onto. There's people who are tweeting, Pakistan's never going to beat the betting allegations. Yeah, very good for your retweets and likes. I hope you're happy with doing misleading nonsense on Twitter with all these weird accounts that, the 4-4 league or whatever they're called, or the Project Football accounts. The NPC guys that don't have face. They're meant to be like companies, and they just post random stuff, and they all repost the same stuff that you'll see on your timeline, and they will get likes and retweets. Yeah, those weirdos. But yeah, they're all doing those for likes and retweets. But what people don't know is that Adam Wharton touched the ball. Like if you watch the game, Adam Wharton touched the ball, and Pakistan did that, and it was big brain. It was big brain indeed, and. Yeah, big up to yourself, Matt. The reason why I got the shades on was because Palace fans were getting cocky last week, bro. Palace fans were getting cocky last week. That's what I was mainly have these on just to taunt Palace fans, not because of the performance today, because it wasn't vintage. But big up to the Palace fans. You lot thought that you were doing something, and listen, I put you 9th and I put us 10th. But I thought you guys won the league like before the league started. Obviously, you guys thought a preseason trophy was worth it because you guys don't know what trophies are. You guys don't really know what trophies mean. So big up to yourselves. Hope you had your fun in preseason. But this is where the real league start now. Where points actually count on the board. When you actually win the game and it counts. No, not when we're playing a 5-3-2 midfield of Potts, Souček, and Ward-Prowse in the same midfield, and you guys capitalize on that. They thought Odson Edouard doing Max Kilman in the preseason game meant anything. When meanwhile Max Kilman had a masterclass today, and Odson Edouard was Odson Edward today. He didn't do anything. Like that. Like this is why I've got the shades on today. It's to taunt Crystal Palace fans. If you guys remember last week, and if you guys were on Twitter last week, obviously Twitter is Twitter, but we lost Aston Villa, and a lot of people were talking, especially Wolves and Palace fans. I don't know what I don't even remember who Wolves played last week. I think Wolves played Arsenal and they lost. I don't know why they were talking. And Crystal Palace, they lost to Brentford the next day, so they also lost 2-1. So yeah. Big up to Warrior. That Steve Washalong was hilarious, and she was so pissed with Souček, and all of a sudden he scores a good goal. Yeah, like it doesn't change my opinion on him, and that's not an agenda thing because I don't do the whole if you score you have a good performance type thing. He was good in the second half off the ball, but this is Souček. He's good off the ball. He even as a general midfielder, he played better and he heavily improved his performance throughout. And he was winning the ball high up the pitch. We were pressing better, and he was part of that. He was doing very well to get a foot in. But that goal was really good. That goal was a really good goal. So fair play to him. But that's why he needs to come on at the back end of the game so he can make an impact then. Maybe you should get some sleep. I will after the stream. After the stream, I'm going straight to bed. But I will be. I'm just going to stream because I owe it to the people. I owe it to the people. But overall, like the first half performance still gave me shades of the Villa game. And what I was complaining about that Warrior was talking about in Steve's watch along was my problem is that when we have the ball between our centre backs, they can distribute the ball quite well. But the problem is we're going down the flanks quite a lot to the fullbacks. We're going to the fullbacks quite a lot. And when we go to the fullbacks, when it goes to the left-hand side, okay, Kudus and Paquetá can come short, and then we can make an opening there. When it goes down the right-hand side, you've got number 5 long ball in it to Jared Bowen. Again, you've got to switch it up, but everyone knows what you're going to do pretty much. That's why when Kudus is dropping deep, it's not because of the defenders, it's because that's how we play. That's how we're trying to play. But when Wan-Bissaka came on, it really helped Jared Bowen to do more things. And my problem is that every time we couldn't pass the ball short, and Rodriguez and Paquetá weren't instructed to go and receive the ball from the centre-backs, even though Rodriguez is sometimes, is we go long. And it goes long to either Souček or Antonio. Antonio was terrible today, I have to say. Antonio was terrible today. He had one good chest control pass, and that was it. Thomas Souček was flicking it on, to be fair. He wasn't winning the headers, but he wasn't winning second balls, which was what pissed me off. And him and Antonio were winning the second duels, meaning they were gathering possession quite a lot. So when you don't win your second duels, that's what happens. I watched Aston Villa today against Arsenal, and Amadou Onana won pretty much every duel. That's how you regain possession and go on to the attack again. Yeah, Kilman, he was a rock. I'm going to get onto him in more detail in a minute because that guy was unbelievable once again. And in these 2 games, he's been our best player. The guy was my man of the match against Aston Villa, and he was by far my man of the match in this game as well. Honourable mentions, of course, to Mavropanos and Emerson, and who else played? Yeah, Mavropanos and Emerson. Yeah, those 2. Because the defenders, it was. I put defensive masterclass originally in the title, but it wasn't. We didn't play defensive, so as I said, I put centre back masterclass. But overall as well, like in the build-up play in the first half, it was just terrible. It was just long ball in it. And then we lost the ball. Then they gather the ball, and then they attack, and the turnovers happen that quick. So you can't just keep wasting the ball like that. When that gets cut out of our game, we can actually become a decent team. I'm not going to say Europe or anything like that, but we could become a decent team. You see, when it gets to the second half, we changed it up. We didn't long ball it as much anymore. When it got to the second half, what happened was we started trying to play through the teams, which is what we should be doing. Whether it's a high caliber team or a low caliber team, we should be trying to do that because this team is not an aerial dueling type team. It's not like Souček actually wins his second duels. He's very good at winning the ball back. He's very good at tackling. He's very good at blocking, but he's not good at winning the second ball. So there's no point having him high up the pitch. And it's not like Souček playing in the 10 was the way he scored today. It was the fact he took an opportunity. He took a second ball opportunity, which is what you should do, and it's what he did very well today. And you can see with Rodriguez passing the ball a lot more, getting the ball, receiving the ball a lot more. Paquetá was on it again. Like I think Paquetá was pretty much played similar in terms of ratings as the previous game. Um, I think he was good, but I think he could do a lot better for what I can see from him. Um, I don't get this whole don't play Paquetá in the middle. That's the way he should only play. I don't ever want to see a lineup with Paquetá on the left ever again. If you want him to link up with Emerson, play him in a three-man midfield on the left where he can make third man runs, or the other two in that triangle can make third man runs as well. It doesn't have to be Paquetá on the left that's doing that, because unfortunately the previous manager has brainwashed everyone into thinking that Paquetá can play on the left wing just because Emerson was there. The whole reason why that all went stale is because there was no third man run. There was no third man run. So that is the main talking point of that for me. When it comes to the game in general, yeah, the build-up play was much better. The build-up play was way better, way better in the second half. They were getting down our left side quite a lot. They weren't feeding the ball to Tyrick Mitchell enough. They weren't really going down the right-hand side because they were playing Odson Edouard in the 10 for whatever reason. That kind of hindered them a bit. But when they were playing down the left, Eze was getting a lot of the ball, but he wasn't doing anything with it. But we managed to deal with Ebere Eze quite a bit. And he only really had 10 minutes in the second half, and they started really well. We started really well as well. But both teams kind of started really well. Eze started well, but we managed to trap him out. And I was all down to Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez's rating has to go up. I think he went under the radar a bit. And I think he did his job very well. If anyone was going to say Rodriguez played bad today, I don't know what game you were watching. He did his job. He collected the ball, distributed the ball okay. And he wanted to pass the ball on the ground today, meaning I know what type of player I'm going to get. And I know what type of player I'm going to get when, they're trying to do shit. And he's not been part of the old crop where they've gone through old habits and stuff. But he did well on the ball. He did well on the ball and he did his job. Him and Alvarez together could be a rock. Him and Alvarez need to play together in big games. Unless Carlos Soler does come in. I want Soler to come in so we can complete this midfield, but then again, it's also going to take a while for him to be integrated as well. It's going to be interesting to see when Todibo gets a start. He'll probably start against Bournemouth, I assume, in the Carabao Cup game. But other than that, it doesn't look like he's going to start anytime soon due to the fact that I said about partnership. Well, he was never going to start over Kilman, and Kilman's never going to start over Todibo because we want them to play together, but in our heads. But Mavropanos was brilliant today. Yeah, I thought he played well. Yeah, exactly. Rodriguez did play well today. But let's talk about the defenders quickly. Like in terms of the centre backs, Kilman and Mavropanos were so good, so good. Only time where there was one ball in behind where maybe Kilman could have done well, and one time where he gave away the ball in the first half, and that's me being very nitpicky towards the general performance of both of them. But Max Kilman was solid. Well, not even solid, he was great. Like, nothing went past him in terms of crosses. Like, in terms of being good on the ball and stuff like that, he ran away with the ball very well and gave an assist pretty much for Jared Bowen to collect. Like, the way he just ran through him and Wan-Bissaka, both of the goals in the respective goals, they both did brilliantly. Like, it was class. Like, I thought, like, I want to see more of that. Like, you can still counter with this team, but you could also play for the like. It does seem like we're going to play a lot more in transition. I want to see more in the future of us trying to put moves together to score goals. I hope that does come about eventually. But both goals were in transition, and I thought both goals were taken really well. I don't mind what type of goals we score as long as we score, but if our whole point is to play possession-based football, then I'm trying to see some good moves to put goals away, etc. That's my thing, personally. I think especially with the crop of players that we have as well, I thought that's what we're trying to do. And I feel like we're going to be more comfortable in possession if we play the right players as well. But I'm not the manager. I don't know what's going to go through his head. I don't know whether we're actually going to play the players that we think we're going to play. But you'd hope that no one's undroppable. You hope that you're going to see more players get more of a chance, and you hope that the players that you brought in aren't going to get too frustrated straight away, and they're going to join in with the patience of hopefully they're going to get minutes in the future, and hopefully they're promised more minutes in the future, and hopefully they could come in and make an impact. I want to see Somerville in midweek. I want to see Fulkirk in midweek, but I also want to see Fulkirk against Man City. But I don't think he's going to play both. But we need to get players minutes. If you're saying that this team some of the players really ain't match ready, well, this is the Carabao Cup game is perfect for you to get them to practice then. Because if they're good enough, they'll shine through. Because I'm sure Bournemouth are going to rotate as well. But I still want us to take that game seriously as well. Overall, it was generally a good game. But it's the way the centre backs communicated as well today. Like the way they kept it tight between the striker, etc., and between the attackers. They didn't get through. They were running. They were like at the back end of the game. They were running out of ideas. What messed it up for them? I thought the subs from us were from Lopetegui was good today. I thought the subs from Oliver Glasner was bad. I thought the subs were bad from him, especially the one where Kamada came on and then he was playing in a deeper position. Like, bro, that just gave us all the advantage for us to run through their midfield because Adam Wharton was very isolated. Like Kilman was running past Adam Wharton because he was left dead by Kamada. Like he left him for dead, pretty much. And that stopped their whole midfield. Like that Chadi Riyad guy played well for them. And Chris Richards was decent. And Mark Gay was good as well. So they were still defending all right. But we got at them in the end. And you can't really, there's not really many players that can handle Jared Bowen cutting in onto his left foot either. I think we just did the basics very well. I actually couldn't believe how good we were defending, to be completely honest with you. My main thing taken from this as well, a lot of people get this misconception with defending deeper means you're defending better. No, it doesn't. It's all about structure, it's all about communication, and it's all about organization as well. Like, if you looked at last season, we were defending deep all the time, but we conceded a lot of goals. Now, when we were talking about we want to play more on the front foot, this doesn't mean we don't care about defense. Because look at today. We were playing on the front foot, but we defended really well in that high line and very organized. Mavropanos and Kilman understood their assignments and understand each other quite well, it seems. Tadima will have to come in eventually, and I do believe Mavropanos is at maximum a squad player, but I don't think he should be sold. And I get they would like, oh, if we get a similar price back, we'd sell him, but I don't think he's a problem for me. He's not a problem for me. Fulkirk looked tidy in tight spaces. That's the thing. Like, I think he was okay when he came on. I don't think he got the ball enough for me to fully judge him again, but I think Nicholas Fulkirk did okay. I think when he got the ball, he did his job. But he still looks unfit. He still looks like he's lacking minutes. And I saw something stupid today about someone saying that, well, he's just come back from the Euros, so how can he be unfit? Surely he should be one of the fittest there. What that guy doesn't understand is the fact that once they left the Euros, they had a break, so they weren't training like that. So your fitness is obviously going to deteriorate no matter what. If you're leaving the Euros, not playing games, to then, playing games again. So that because he didn't have a preseason, you still got to have a preseason before the season, no matter what. That's why, if you look at most players across the whole weekend, who's played like extremely well, that was in an international break. There's not many players like in terms of a European tournament or the Copa America. There's not many players that did. There's not many players, especially in the Premier League, that I can think of that played well whilst just coming back off the international break. People got to give people a chance. He hasn't played in this league. He's got to get used to the team. He's got to get used to the system. I'm giving everyone a year that hasn't played in the Premier League before, because that's how you help them thrive. You don't write off someone after one season. Never. You don't do that with anyone, and let alone strikers at West Ham either. Because when do strikers thrive at West Ham? They don't. But I'm going to get into the player ratings. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get into player ratings. And then I might end it there because I am fucking tired. But let's get into it. The lineup is there. And let's go through it. And if you are still watching, leave your ratings of the players in the comments below and put it next to the player that you're rating it, because it's actually harder to judge it when you're actually streaming it. So, Areola in goal. I'm going to give Areola a 6 just because he didn't have to do much. He made one great save and did everything, like all of the rest of his job that he had to do already. He did it. He already did that shit. So, like, big up to Areola. and he gets a 6 from me. Vladimir Sufel, he was probably one of the worst players on the pitch. Him and Antonio. I did this is the first time I called him by his name on this stream. Excuse my voice. I'm gonna give him a 5. I don't think it was great. A big waste on the ball. Didn't really do much defensively. I wasn't really helped going forward. So I don't really understand. I don't really understand him per se. Um, Mavropanos. Mavropanos. One of the better players on the pitch. Definitely probably top 3 players on the pitch. And I thought he played really well. I'm gonna give him an 8. Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I should give him a 9. But especially that second half, he was really, really good. Like maybe if he had the levels of the second half in the first half as well, I'd give him a 9. But overall, I still think he played really well. So credit to him. Like he could get 8. Kilman's getting a 9 from me. Maybe not 10 out of 10 performance, but like because that might take a lot. But Max Kilman definitely a 9, and he was brilliant. I don't get the hate really. I get he has weaknesses. I've even said when talking about Max Kilman before, I have reservations of Max Kilman of his performances. However, he did pretty much everything right today, apart from maybe a teeny tiny bit of mistakes if we're really nitpicking. But again, he gets a 9. He defended really well, read the game really well, aerially did really well, dealt with crosses, dealt with situations where he might have been in danger and diffused the danger. Needed to be no nonsense where he needed to be no nonsense, and doesn't lose the ball when he's dribbling out of possession that often. So maybe he's kind of proving everyone wrong, including myself, on this back 4 claim where he can't play in the back 4, which is a doubt that I've even had as a criticism before. Emerson, again, as I said earlier, he went under the radar in terms of the performance that he had. And I'm going to give him a 7 because he was decent. And listen, I've seen Emerson play better games, but he didn't do much wrong. And he was a very key contributor to our attack. So as much as I don't think he was good as Mavropanos, I think he was top. So I'd give Emerson a 7. Rodriguez, I'd also give a 7. I think he did his job. I think he did his job very well. He's the ball winner, trying to shield the defense, etc. He's the deepest midfielder. There were times where I think, okay, you don't need to go forward as well because there are other midfielders going forward, and against better teams in transition, you will get exposed like that. And I think Palace had a couple of opportunities where they could have done that, but they don't have any pace to really counter attack unless they brought Ismail Assar on. So I'll give him a 7. My only critic was maybe leaving the gaps maybe too far, and behind. I've given credit where it's due, Damien. I've given credit where it's due. I think he took his goal really well, and I think he was really, really good in the second half, winning the ball back, etc. as well. Obviously, he frustrated me in the first half, but I think we upped our performance in the second half, and I think he upped his performance, winning the ball back, etc. But my overall opinion doesn't change on him, Damien. But this game, yeah, of course, I give credit where it's due. I'm fair. I will give credit where it's due, bro. So credit to him as well today. Like he took his goal really well. I don't want him as the furthest part midfielder. Do you know what? I wouldn't actually mind him if not even mind him, but just so I think that would benefit us much more anyway. As long as he's not put as a second striker, I think we'll be fine because we don't have to go long. And every time we do go long, we lose the ball anyway. Which makes the other team regain possession, which was the same criticism I had against Aston Villa, which was what happened in the first half of this game. But in the second half, Souček won the ball high up the pitch, really got onto their players. Did make a couple of sloppy fouls, but that was it. I do think my only criticism really of him in the second half was he got a yellow card and then instantly went in to foul someone again, literally straight after he got a yellow card, which is a bit risky. Would I start him long term? No. But he played well today. Especially in the second half. Not in the first half, but I'm giving a fair analysis in my opinion. But yeah, I guess now that we're on the topic of him, I've given Rodriguez a 7. I'll give Suchek a 7 as well for the goal. Really ups his rating, and the second half performance ups his rating as well. If this was just off the first, if he was playing like he did in the first time, I would probably say like a 5. Um, but yeah, I think a 7's fair. He scored the goal, so your rating does go up after the goal, but your sole performance doesn't get judged off a goal, which I'll go on to Jared Bowen in a minute. I don't think it was Jared Bowen's best game either, but he did score. But just because I prefer him to Suchek doesn't mean I'm gonna up his rating. You know what I mean? But yeah, Suchek I'll give a 7 as well. Jared Bowen, this might be a bit debatable, but I'm going to give a 6. The reason why I'm going to give a 6 is because I don't think he got enough of the ball anyway, because I don't think number 5 helps him. I do think he played much better when Wan-Bissaka came on. I do think he came into his own in the last 30 minutes. I don't know whether this is just because I have higher standards of Jared Bowen as well that I'm being a bit harsh on him, but I feel like I'm being fair. I feel like I could have seen a lot more of him on the ball. I don't think we give the ball in the feet enough of the wingers. And to be honest, I don't think we saw enough of Kudus. I think Kudus linked up well with Emerson, as we talked about earlier, but I don't think he played that well either. But Bowen, yeah, I'll give him a 6. I think if he didn't score, I would have given him a 5 as well. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil the chat. Just no more numbers. You see, I'm calling him by his name. I'm calling him by his name. I'm calling him by his name because he scored today. But overall, mate, I'd still maintain my opinion on him. I still maintain my overall thing on him. But if he was to play a role where he came on as a super sub and make an impact, he can do stuff like that. But when we're playing around with the ball and stuff, and when we just long it, and then it goes to him in a second striker position, I don't think we need to do all of that. And it doesn't change my opinion on him. I'm not going to flip flop. Number 10, Paquetá. Again, Paquetá, I think, again, I don't think he was bad. But I want much better. I want much better from him. I want much better from him for sure. Oh, 7 or 6. 7 or 6 for Lucas Paquetá. I'm going to be harsh. I think a 6. I don't think he was as good as Emerson. I don't think he was terrible, don't get me wrong, but he was. Maybe I should have lowered his rating for the Villa game, because I don't remember what I gave him for the Villa game. Big up to Charlie as well. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I think he could have been better. He got more involved. But no, we could have gave him the ball a lot more in the second half. I feel like he got. Yeah, my trip got cut short. I'm not going to be on for long. I'm running on 0 hours of sleep, so I'm going to end the stream in like 5 minutes probably. Mohamed Kudus. Again, I'm going to give a 6 because I don't think we gave him the ball enough. I don't think we gave him the ball enough to thrive. I think he linked up well with Emerson. That mazy run he did in the first half, where he ran with the ball and 4 people were trying to get the ball off him, and he still couldn't, and obviously he got the foul. He didn't get any help, but he was amazing in that run. And that's what he does. You cannot get the ball off him. It's like, when is Kudus going to lose the ball? Oh, he's still got it. Oh, he's gone past another person. Oh, he's still got the ball. That's the truth. You're not going to get the ball off him. There's going to be times where you get tight to him and you win the ball. But that's it. I hear you. I think 4 means he performed like shit. But I think if you're basing it off his standards, then I understand why you gave him a 4. That's why I'll give him a 6. I don't think we gave the ball to him enough. Antonio wasn't great. Antonio being the last person I'll rank, because I don't think apart from Wan-Bissaka, I don't know whether you can rank any of the substitutions, but hold on, my mouse is fucked for a sec. Antonio, I'm gonna give a 4 probably. He didn't touch the ball down enough, bro. He touched the ball good once off his chest, and a lot of the other times it just bounced off him. He just bounced off him. Antonio 2, yeah, fair. Yeah, I was disappointed, but I didn't really expect much from this lineup. I think the substitutions made a difference in terms of, especially the Wan-Bissaka one. The Wan-Bissaka substitution made a big difference because he just added something different that we haven't seen as of yet. And that first goal said a lot. The way he got the ball and ran past people, I hope that gets analysed properly. I hope not Bowen. I hope the whole back four in terms of Emerson, Kilman, Mavropanos, and the substitution of Wan-Bissaka coming on. I hope they all get the credit they deserve. Yeah, I like that's how I felt today. It felt very frustrating because we needed to retain the ball, and it was the same frustration as the Villa game in the first half, where we have Antonio and Souček up there, and we're not retaining the ball. The only difference is Souček played better in the second half, and he scored a goal. But a lot of that was still off the ball stuff, is what I'm saying. But what else am I meant to say? I'm just saying how I see it. Doesn't mean I want him to start next game, but he can come on as a sub and make an impact for sure, as I've been saying for the past 2 years. But that is probably going to be it, guys. I'm sorry if my energy has been off and the lack of enthusiasm is there. I will be talking about it more on the GVO show on Monday with Alfie. That will be at 8 p.m. I will be talking about the game more and put any questions you guys want in the chat as well. What's it called as well? I've forgotten what I was going to say. But I'm really tired. I'm not drunk. I'm just really tired. People need to understand the off-the-ball element of the game. I'm done defending Antonio Souček this season. Lopetegui understands the group. Yeah, it's just that I don't really know how to explain it. Like, if I'm only praising you for stuff off the ball, and I mean only praising you for stuff off the ball. Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong, we won. Like, I'm just tired, bro. I'm running on 0 hours of sleep. I'm happy about the win. Don't get me wrong, but I'm really tired. Big up to John as well. First win of the Lop era. Yeah, listen, I'm happy to get started. It's just I still have concerns. But yeah, if I'm only praising you for stuff off the ball as well, that's a concern for me. And you're a midfielder, for example, let's say. That's just my opinion, though. We'll get into that another day. I'm going to end it there. I'm going to end the stream there. We'll talk about all of this another day. Make sure to like the video, people. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Social medias are in the description if you want to follow me. And the email for the inquiries. Check out all the streams that are coming up as well. Be there on Monday, 8 p.m. I'll see you guys later.